What's going on, lads? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we are going over some of the knife lineups on the map Ascent in the Valorant game. We're going to be breaking this up into multiple different parts. So there's going to be essentially a basic video and then a more advanced video. So the basic video is going to be essentially where you don't need to be, lining things up on your HUD to land the knife. It's going to be the more on-the-go knives and things like that. And then there'll be the across the map knives and things like that in the advanced video. And then we'll also have volley videos and things like that. So if you enjoy the video, go ahead and drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you want to see all the other videos that are coming down the pipe, and let's go ahead and get into it. So let's go ahead and start on attacker's side. I think this is probably Kayo's weaker side. The barrier wall is roughly about here, and a lot of people throw this knife here, which is gonna get anyone close, and it lands roughly about there, and it gets anyone playing close. The only thing that it does not get is right there. Let me show you exactly where it is. It lands about there. So anyone playing in this close cubby, it doesn't get. So that is definitely something to keep in mind. There is an alternative knife you can throw. You do have to be careful not to overextend this angle here. And you kind of just throw, and you get it right there. It gets that. And it doesn't really get here. So the first knife, it does get in here. If people are playing this corner here for some reason, I think would be a little weird. Second knife is, I think, a little bit better, but I mean, the first one, it's a lot easier to throw. To actually get his knife to cover all of sight, there's really only a few options. And I mean, you're gonna want to have smokes down on like, tree and heaven, things like that. And a lineup would be very useful for this. That would probably be your best bet. That way you can throw it safely. And if you have people covering you, you can throw a jump knife. That's kind of like your best bet. A lineup and then a jump throw. That's kind of all you got here. And the jump knife I'll show you in the next video in the advanced lineups. This video is kind of just the basic knives for when you're like on the go and things like that. The entry knives while you're coming into sites and retakes and things like that. So that knife will be in the next video. So over at B site, there are two options, and this one is dependent on the enemy team's composition. They have like a Reyna or a Jet, someone that can dash and get away, or they're making aggressive plays. That's basically where you would throw the second knife. So the normal knife you throw basically up there. And essentially this would get anyone that's playing up to about right here. So anyone playing here or back here, it doesn't get them. But this pillar, it protects the knife so it can't really be shot unless they have incredible aim. Second knife is essentially right there, which it does get people playing here or here. So if like a Reyna or a Jet comes out here for like an early pick and they try and dash away, they will not be able to use that, so you can get the trade. That's really the only time you would want to use that second knife, because they can easily, just destroy it. But then you have an advantage on that fight, so you can get that pick or that trade. But that's really the only time you'd want to use that knife, because there's no reason to use that knife over that one, other than in those situations where they have those agents that are making those kind of plays. For Cat, you can also throw a knife over here. You want to be aiming for that, because if you hit it over here, it doesn't get far enough back to catch everything. You can kind of see the difference there on the mini map. You get a lot more information out of that. Don't come out here. You just kind of do a jump throw to land that. If you want to get mid information from tiles, it is a bit more complicated and risky. If you have smokes or teammates helping you essentially stay safe, that will definitely help a lot. So if you have like a smoke here, you can kind of come out here. Just don't overexpose yourself, and you just throw one here. That'll catch anyone close. If you want to get it further back, you essentially want to hit around here, and that's kind of all you can do. But you need to have this smoked, or you need to have someone watching from deep, and that will get anyone that's playing further back as well as arch. And if you're playing from top mid, again, just don't overexpose yourself. All you need to do is arch enough to get it over the arch. And what you want to be aiming for is that right there. If you throw it deep enough, you can get all of market, or you can put it up here, and it won't get the back of market, so you won't know if people are watching B main from here, but you will get all of Arch. So it's kind of up to you. I think probably if you're playing here, this corner knife is probably what you're looking for. It just makes more sense. All right, let's go over the defensive side knives now. So one of the, the more basic ones is just throwing one there. I guess anyone that's playing, essentially this corner here, which it's a strong knife. And if you're trying to get like a very early one tap, that's great. Another one that does the exact same thing, but if you want to get an early pick in tiles and then rotate to A, you can throw it there. It gets the exact same information. Very strong knife. Over at B, there's 2 you can throw. That one's all right. I mean, it gets plenty of information. It's just easy to destroy. Much stronger knife is to stand on this corner here and just kind of throw it up there. And it kind of lands in that corner there, so it's a lot more difficult for them to destroy that because of the angle there. And then it gets essentially the same information, so much better knife. Mid knives, I don't think are super strong on defensive side. I mean, you can throw one here. It's all right. You can throw one over here. Again, not super great. People, I mean, it depends on what round and how the economy's going, but they generally don't push mid super fast. It depends on the comp as well. Another one you can throw. So let me show you down here first. There's these windows here, which kind of help a little bit for keeping the knife safe. But if you want to get information on anyone playing down there, just kind of stand roughly at the buy wall and just kind of arch it like near the window. Just kind of keep it hidden, and it'll get anyone that's playing in this general area. Like if you think there's someone opping or trying to get an early mid pick at Arch, you can throw that. And if you want to get a early info here, I would just suggest throwing that. Otherwise, you're going to expose yourself while you're throwing your knife. That's no good because you are peeking during an animation. That is no bueno. All right, so that is all of the knife lineups for KO on defensive side. Let's get into some of the knife lineups for retakes. So, and again, starting on A side. So let's say you're retaking from heaven. You don't want to expose yourself. So the first one you throw is just right here. And I mean, it's not bad. You get hell, you get anyone playing top side of site, you get Jenny. Better one you could throw, you would have to clear, anyone playing this kind of cubby-ish part right here is right here. It gets most of sight. The only part that it doesn't get is near A main and tree. If you're retaking from tree, your best bet, well, I guess you really have 2 options. You can throw one in this corner here, which definitely keeps it safe, and it gets majority of sight. The only thing it doesn't really get is heaven and hell, or main, I guess, technically, if they're playing out there, which isn't too uncommon. Another one you can throw is here, which also gets the majority of sight, except for main. Those are definitely your 2 best knives that you can throw for retakes. The only thing is this one here. Clear this first. From B main, again, you're going to need a lineup, or you need to do a jump throw to throw this. Again, not ideal. You're in a bad situation with your knife from B main, or from A main, excuse me. All right, moving on to B site. I think CT is probably going to be where you'll get the most utility out of your knife. And that is because you will have to clear this angle first, but if you throw your knife down here, and you do have to make sure you throw it deep enough. If you throw it down here, you won't get all of jail. If they're playing deep enough, it won't hit them, but throw it deep, you will get anyone playing, sight, even if they're playing, boat house for some reason, it'll still hit them. And then if you're coming from market, you have a few options. None of them are very good. You can hit boat house, which gives you most of the front of sight. It's not super strong. It's not bad. Anyone playing, pretty close will get hit. Anyone playing jail will, obviously not get hit. Not bad though. You can also kind of throw it over and gets anyone playing jail. You can also hit it off of this wall. Get the sides, same over here. Essentially, you're just limited to like getting half information on the side at a time. It's not bad, it's just not great. CT it's so much stronger for the knife. Same for over here. I mean, you can hit the wall, you can hit boat house, you can hit down here. This one's not nearly as bad. It can get destroyed. You can come down here for that. Pretty good. Hits the majority of sight and get destroyed, but also that gives you information, so it's also not bad. Might display some crosshair placements that'll give you an advantage, so you know, kind of useful. Not too bad. Give you an advantage on a gunfight. Yeah, I think CT is definitely your best bet if you are trying to maximize your suppression to help your team, you know, retake this site. All right, last up for this video is knife lineups for defending bomb plants. So again, starting on A site, there are a few that we can use. Super simple is if you're playing hell, just literally do that. And I mean, that's like as simple as it gets. Another decent one is to, if you hit about here, it will get anyone that's playing pretty close to here and garden. It also hits anyone playing inside here. So it's not bad, but it's very situational because you have to have very good awareness of where the enemies are. So if you do have that awareness, like if you see them on the minimap or your team has good callouts, that can be very useful information to stop their push or delay them, or you know, get those picks. Another very strong knife is just in that corner there. It'll hit basically all of main and tree. That is about it for the majority of where people are going to be pushing you for a retakes. Lineups to protect the B site plants are pretty straightforward. There's a few that are really strong. If you want to get guaranteed information on CT, you can just throw one there. CT cannot destroy that. Market cannot destroy that. Main definitely can destroy that, but that's guaranteed information. There's no way to escape that unless they're way too far back. If you want to get information on market and CT, which I think this knife is a lot more valuable, you can throw it on the stairs here. Just don't, you know, overexpose yourself. The thing with this is that it doesn't give as much information on CT or market, but CT can't destroy it. Market cannot destroy it unless either of them expose themselves. So I think this knife is very valuable. For main, there's two different knives you can throw. This one, it's all right. You can just throw it through the window. It gets, you know, the majority of main. You can throw it further back to get essentially all of main. The better knife, I think, is just throw it up there because that'll get market as well. Much more information. It's a lot better. Essentially just lands like up here. A lot more useful. A lot more information. If you're playing jail and you know they're already pushing, honestly, just throw it on boathouse or something like that. You can throw it out here on the ground or here if you really need to, because I mean, if they're pushing, you're not going to be able to peek and get a knife out there. You just need to throw it where you can, and you just gotta live with what you got. But that's really it for B site. It really just comes down to how many people they have alive, and if you want to maximize the amount of people that you're suppressing, or if you're trying to get information and find out, you know, where they're pushing from. That's how you're using your knife. That's what you're trying to figure out. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the video and hope it was, you know, helpful. Don't forget to drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed the video and want to see our next guides that are coming out. And I'll see you in our next video, which will be the advanced guide. See you.